Good early afternoon. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Paulette, and I am a part of Brownstone Worldwide. We're in the Brownstone Worldwide studios. As you can tell, I think I'm cute today because I got on a dress and got my little earrings on. So let's get into it. Once again, we're in the Brownstone Worldwide studios. You are hanging out with me here in what we affectionately like to call the day shift. This is our midday show where we are going to be giving you news and information that you can use about what's happening in the Brownstone and around the world. One of the things that we always like to tell you guys when you come and you hang out with us is we are here to help to change the narrative of Black and brown individuals as we go about our daily lives in these internet streets. And we want to help to change the narrative, listen closely, of how we tell our stories our way. So first things first, let's talk about what is happening in the Brownstone. First of all, big shout out to all of our air personalities for all of the love and support that they provide to the Brownstone on a regular basis. We definitely wanted to shout out the entire crew from Marshawn Olanio to Tony Sanchez. We've got Dr. Michelle Josie, the Nicole Johnson. We have Leanne Dulce, DeCarlo Collins. We've got Cullen Carey, and we also have myself. And we make up currently what is Brownstone Worldwide. Now, we also have some other folks that hang out with us in the back end that you guys never see. And that's okay too, because they help us with editing. They help us with getting things loaded. They help us with scheduling out all of our shorts and our reels and things like that. So we definitely want to take an opportunity to give them some of their flowers. You know how the old folks used to say, give them their flowers while they yet live, right? So that's what we're doing right now. Big shout out to everybody. Big shout out to someone who is going to be handling our merchandise in the future for Brownstone Worldwide. We're really excited about that. We're excited to be sharing that opportunity with them and with us because it's going to be a great partnership. So big shout out to that. We're going to be providing more information as it becomes available. We will just want to make sure that we solidify some stuff. But let's get into this news and information that you can use. You guys, it's so much that is happening in the world right now. Today. And I'm going to share this video because we shared it yesterday with you all. But the CEO of TikTok is actually in Washington, D.C., and he is going to be talking to Congress today about what they are doing at TikTok to make sure that our data and everything else is safe. So I find it very ironic and kind of sad that we're actually at this point, because we definitely know that there's more to the story than what's being told. And so he's having to come over here and to talk about that. But let's look at the totality of everything that is happening when we're talking about TikTok. TikTok, according to what he is saying, and he's going to tell you himself here in just a minute, 125 million people from the US are literally using TikTok on a daily basis. 125 million. Not only that, but 7,000 people are employees of TikTok. They actually live here in the US. Shutting it down, banning it is going to impact those folks, okay? So we're talking about something that's a little bit bigger than what a lot of people want to make it out to be, right? So let's get into what he's talking about here. And I wanted to definitely share this with you guys. I think I went on ahead and I removed it, but I'm going to go ahead and add it again so that you guys can take a look and see for yourself what this young man is talking about. It kind of made me a little sad that he's even having to come over here. But in order for him to make his point and to really share how what he's doing is so important, I definitely wanted to make sure that you guys saw this. And then we also wanted to talk again about this bill that is being introduced in Florida by a senator in reference to young girls and their menstrual cycles. This is so important. I don't know if we're going backwards, if we're going what's happening. So once again, let's get into this video and let's share with you guys. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about a little bit more news and information that you can use. Are you ready for this?
Hi everyone, it's Show here. I'm the CEO of TikTok. I'm here in Washington, D.C. today, and I have some news and updates to share with everyone here. Today, I'm super excited to announce that more than 150 million Americans are on TikTok. That's almost half of the US coming to TikTok to connect, to create, to share, to learn, or just to have some fun. This includes 5 million businesses that use TikTok to reach their customers. And the majority of these are small and medium businesses. Now, these numbers are amazing. And I'm so thankful to all of you and the 7,000 TikTok employees in the US who are helping us build this incredible community in America and around the world. Now, this comes at a pivotal moment for us. Some politicians have started talking about banning TikTok. Now, this could take TikTok away from all 150 million of you. I'll be testifying before Congress later this week to share all that we're doing to protect Americans using the app and deliver on our mission to inspire creativity and to bring joy. Let me know in the comments what you want your elected representatives to know about what you love about TikTok.
All right, folks. So if you are on TikTok, what I would encourage you guys to do is to head over to the actual TikTok page itself and find that video that I just shared with you guys so that you can tell him exactly what it is that TikTok has done in terms of the impact for you. And one of the things that I definitely wanted to share with you all is that not only is it a way for us to connect with millions of people from around the world, but it's a way for us to learn things that we might not otherwise be able to learn. It's a way for us to build and grow our businesses. It's a way for a lot of people to sell out, and so I've seen it happen over and over and over again. People have become millionaires on this particular platform, whereas if they were on Facebook or Instagram, they might not have had that opportunity to do it so quickly. And so it has been a way for people to build their businesses. But now we're gonna pop this in here because one of the things that I definitely wanted to be sure that we also talked about in this regard when we're talking about TikTok and all of these social media platforms. Listen, I say this unequivocally all the time. Listen very closely. This is not your platform. It is not. It's not, right? And I need you all to understand Facebook ain't yours. Instagram is not yours. TikTok is not yours. Bigo is not yours. Uplive, Clapper, Fanbase, all of those, they are not yours. They are not. What is yours is your domain, your intellectual property, those things. Where are you housing your own property, right? Even though you're loading into all of these different platforms or whatever, and you're looking to, goad up all of the followers that you can, where are you sending them? Do you have a call do you have the things that you need in place? Don't get me started. Now let's talk about some key points when we're talking about TikTok and what's happening. So listen very closely. If TikTok is banned in the US, connecting to the app won't be as easy as using a VPN, which is what some people are thinking that they're going to be able to do. They're saying, oh, well, I'll just use a virtual private network to get around that. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the US, which I'm lovingly calling it CFIUS, threatened to ban TikTok if ByteDance wouldn't sell its stake. Well, here's the question, folks. Who are they going to sell it to? It's 20%. ByteDance only owns 20% of TikTok. Who you think is going to try to buy that 20% if they, for some unforeseen reason, decide that what this young man is going to go before Congress today and tell them is not enough? Then what? Who buys what? So we got to dig a little bit deeper and just not look at the surface and what they're telling us, because I don't know what dumb truck they thought that the American people actually fell off of. I'm sorry. That's just me. Anyone else? And I know I'm supposed to be unbiased and I'm supposed to just give you all the news and information that you can use, but it's a little hard when some of this stuff is just dumb as a box of freaking rocks and you can see it as plain as day. All right. Now, any ban of TikTok in the US would likely have to involve cutting it off from mobile app stores. We really concerned about the security of TikTok. Our content on TikTok, our security. Really? We talking about the same folks that were able to come through Facebook and all of these other places and take your data and do with it what they got your data. Everybody has your data. What are they talking about? Okay, Carry on. Okay, so TikTok is at the risk of being banned in the US if Chinese parent ByteDance won't sell its stake. It's 20%, folks. Millions of Americans who actually use the popular video app are left wondering what that means for them. And I just told you exactly what that is. So some fans of the service may turn to VPNs, which is not going to be as easy as a lot of people think that it's going to be to try to connect to TikTok should a ban take place. So a workaround that can make it seem like their internet connection is coming from a different country. Okay, but that loophole may not be so easy to exploit. Now, it's not an issue yet, as there are still some ways a TikTok ban could be avoided or accessed legally in the US. Here are the key things under the consideration. Are we ready? What a ban or forced sale could look like. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S., or CFIUS, as I like to call it, is the interagency body evaluating national security concerns around the app to determine how to minimize risk if it continues to operate domestically. Minimize risk? Oh, okay. All right. Don't get me started on that. So the group can recommend to President Joe Biden that ByteDance's 2017 acquisition of Musical.ly, a TikTok precursor, be unwound, forcing a sale of those assets. So you have to ask yourself what is really going on behind the scenes, right? And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, okay, so let's put this in perspective, and we want to kind of untie this just a little bit, because I have been doing some research on it, and then we're going to move on. Okay, so one of the things that we have learned is that Facebook, listen closely, hired an outside company to kind of help drive this campaign, to give TikTok an interesting name in these internet streets, right? So that it looks like things that are happening are not, right? And so I'm going to pull those files and film, because I want to be able to, I got receipts now. All right. So we're going to, again, I'm just going to slowly start rolling some of this out. And I want to stay on top of this, because it's really unfortunate, right, that this is even going on. Okay. Because again, it's not going to just impact the 20% of the shareholders that have a stake in TikTok. It is literally, I was on there this morning, and I was watching some things, and sometimes I go there for news that I can't get anywhere else, so that I can share with you guys. And so one of the things that I noticed that was really, really unfortunate was there are a lot of people that are already, you know, making their transition and deciding what their next move is going to be. Like, where am I going to send my people? And see, here's what happens. We know stragglers are not going to stick around. You know what I mean? That is why I am going to encourage you, if you are a business owner, you're looking to do anything on TikTok or whatever, the one thing that you need to make sure that you have put together for yourself and for your business is make sure that you have somewhere for your folks to go that is yours, be it a website, be it their email, so that you can communicate with them. Create a platform where they're able to get their content directly from you. When things like this happens, it is a wake-up call for content creators like myself and others to be able to say, okay, now wait a minute. Do I have all of the things set up correctly for my business if in the event something like that happens? Because things are going to change, right? We don't know what Facebook is going to look like in a couple of years. We don't know what TikTok is going to look like. We don't know what any of these things are going to look like, and who's going to come behind because they mad because they can't compete and decide to control another business. Now let's dig a little bit deeper. I said I wasn't going to do this. But listen, it's my platform. Okay. This is Brownstone Worldwide is mine. Okay. So I want to dig in here. I want to talk a little bit further. We know that TikTok is becoming more like a Google. It's becoming a search engine of sorts. This is where you can learn how to do things. This is where content is stored up. And also it's a place where officially you can do up to 20 minutes of video content. 20 minutes. Think about that. So we've got some big dogs that are trying to get in the race as well, right? So we have YouTube that is starting something as well. It started about 3 or 4 days ago, and is their podcast application that's a part of the entire platform. So you know you got YouTube Shorts, you know you got regular YouTube videos, and you know you already have a way to broadcast live and do all of that directly from YouTube. But here's the thing. They have officially started their podcast platform as well. Okay. And if you want to find out more about that, you can definitely go over to YouTube and find out for yourself exactly what that looks like. So definitely go ahead and check that out for yourself. So you can go, oh, that's how you do that? There you go. All right. So it's a pretty cool little platform itself. And so again, there are other places for you to go. I always encourage people, just like we are with Brownstone Worldwide, find yourself different places to be anyway, because there's a different audience in all of these different places. So you have, of course, Clapper, you have Uplive, you have Bigo, you have Fanbase, Black-owned company. It's owned by Isaac Hayes Jr. or Isaac Hayes' son, Isaac Hayes III. So there you go. You definitely want to take a look at that. And he even has a feature on his app where you can put in your URL and you can literally download all of your videos and content from TikTok directly. I've already done it for hours. And so we're already over there. In the event something were to occur, and then we're already shoring up our YouTube presence as well. Okay. All right. So I definitely wanted to talk to you guys about that. Okay, now let's talk about some other things that are in the news. Y'all know me, I got all my little phones and stuff, and then of course, you got to try to pull everything up as fast as you can. The good part about this is that it's you guys, you know what I mean? And we're just having a candid conversation about what's happening in the world right now. And it's a really good thing for us to do that, because at least you'll get a snippet of the news and information directly from somebody that's kind of keeping up with it. And I think it's important for us to do that. But listen, you guys, go ahead and check out Maurice Wentz. He's our People of the Neighborhood. We did have an opportunity to have an interview, and he shared with us how he started a grocery store in an urban food desert in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. If you want to see that video, you can head over to our YouTube channel, Brownstone Worldwide, or you can check us out on Facebook at Brownstone Worldwide. Everything Brownstone Worldwide, Brownstone Worldwide, Brownstone Worldwide. Okay. You definitely want to make sure that you do that. All right. So let's talk about another daily rundown of news and information that you can use. Home prices are beginning to fall, y'all. Sales rise in February. So let's talk about that. House prices are actually dipping. So a decade-long trend of year-on-year house price increases came to an abrupt end last month as rising mortgage rates and waning buyer interest forced sellers to lower their expectations. The median existing home price was $363,000 in February, down 0.2% from February 2022, according to the year-over-year price decline since early 2012, according to the National Association of Realtors. Now, that dip may have encouraged more buyers to step in off the sidelines, with sales of previously owned homes climbing 14.5% in February from 1 month earlier, the first gain in 12 months. Now, despite that rise, listen closely to this, the housing market remains quiet. Now, I can attest to that because in the housing division where I live, these are all brand new homes that have been built in the past 2 to 3 years. And a lot of the houses, and they're still continuing to build, which blows my mind. A lot of the houses are still empty. So you can absolutely see just a little bit of what is actually happening here in the US with that. So it's really, really interesting to see. Let's see. Google actually rolls out chatbot for some. So of course, Google had to get in the game of AI, right? Of course, big dog on campus. You think they're not going to get in the game? Generative AI is taking another leap forward as Google opens up its chatbot Bard. BARD for testing in the US and the UK. Now, there is already a wait list. Of course, I'm on it because I want to try it out, right? Though Google says it's going to expand access to more. Okay, now let's talk about this sad little fact that's happening. Now, we know that there are some banks that are starting to fall by the wayside and so forth. So employees of Credit Suisse and others are already in the midst of downsizing. They've started to swarm headhunters. Can you blame them though? Okay. So one of the things that they're doing is in the midst of the wake of the bank's takeover by a bigger bank, let's see, UBS, as much as a third of the combined workforce of 120,000 are expected to be cut. And guys, I don't think that we're seeing the end of this. I think this is the beginning of a trend for a little while. And we knew that this was going to happen in the middle of COVID with everything that was happening. The impact still has yet to be felt. It's like a wave. Okay. Now, the Financial Times has reported, citing anonymous resources, meanwhile, employees of Credit Suisse, already in the midst of downsizing, have started to swarm headhunters looking for more opportunities for themselves. In particular, investment bankers and equities traders with the smaller banks have been seeking employment elsewhere. Can you blame them? Can you blame them? You can't. You can't do that. Here's something else. Retailers are hungry for Bed Bath & Beyond sites. Store chains, TJ Maxx, Ross, and Home Goods have already swooped up in to grab closed Bed Bath & Beyond locations. And real estate experts expect that additional closures, including 49 of its Harmon stores, won't stay vacant very long. Okay. Burlington, Five Below, Nordstrom Rack, and even budget gym Planet Fitness are all fiercely jockeying for Bed Bath & Beyond sites, according to CNN sources. As the huge spaces are usually in prime locations, and they are, because at one time, remember this, back in the day, Bed Bath & Beyond was usually connected to the mall or in the mall, right? And remember back in the day, in my 20s and my early 30s, that was where you hung out, okay? There was Amazon, but he was selling books. Now he's selling everything. Okay. And you can get in the game too. However, one of the things that we know is that back in the day, you couldn't get to a Bed Bath & Beyond in the hood. That was a no. You had to be a part of like a strip mall, or it was in the mall, and it was where everybody kind of hung out and did their thing, right? So if I went to, not say for instance, like a Phipps Plaza here in Atlanta, that's something totally different. But when we're talking about just your regular mall, like a Lenox Mall here in Atlanta, or you're talking about even South Lake. Some of you guys are familiar with South Lake Mall here in South Atlanta. These are some places you'll find a Bed Bath & Beyond. Well, if they're closing those stores down, it's prime real estate. You know what I mean? To go ahead and put another facility in there. Okay. Now, as these huge spaces are usually in prime locations, commercial real estate of that size has become listen to this, precious and scarce resource, especially as online shopping has taken hold. So you still have those pretty cool places that you like to go. Me personally, I love a good Ross. Got to be good though. Okay. You got some places where somebody is doing the buying for some of these areas and you're like, well, what is this? Well, what's happening? Okay. So what's happening is right now, Bed Bath & Beyond is stripping down its big blue signs, clearing out aisles of linen and closing 400 stores as it tries to fight off bankruptcy. And I hate to hear that. Okay. Already chains, including TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and Ross have scooped up the vacant stores, and there is more to come. Burlington, Five Below, Nordstrom Rack, and budget gym places like Planet Fitness may also fill up the spaces. That is what some retail landlords are actually saying. So yeah, there you go. There you go with that. So that is pretty cool. It's sad, but it's pretty cool because it's going to be replaced with some things and places that I enjoy going to. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys enjoy going to as well. So again, we talked about those new layoffs that are coming and what that means for the economy. New economic data adds color and contour to our picture of the labor market. And we're going to be talking about that after we take a quick break. Check out this sister right here. This is Anisha Smith and her beautiful designs from Reflections by Zaina.
Rich badness, them know a gunman style. Big Ben spark up and lap stick pan kyle. Boss head one go run man file. Be a killer we part with from we are juvenile. How we are on the ground. What else? Badness, where them a say? How we have up the artist set a guy, where them a say? Now look at this.
All right, folks, that was Reflections by Zaina. You can go ahead and check her out at rbxdesigns.expressions.com. But you can also go over to Amazon and you can find this beautiful sister and her husband Quan's designs. Their family does everything together. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're at 7 figures now. So congratulations to them for that. All right. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what's coming down the pipe this week. So tonight, you guys. Yep, that's me. Let's talk about the Lunch and Learn Hour that's coming up next week. We are actually filming it tonight. Okay. So if you want to be a part of that, all you have to do is scan the QR code and you can become a part of the show, right? So you scan that, it's going to give you a StreamYard link and you'll be able to join us tonight, beginning at 6:30 p.m. The show is going to be about 1 hour long, and it is a frank discussion on Black women when it comes to money, power, and respect. You don't want to miss this taping tonight. Doesn't cost you a thing to be a part of it. We just want to make sure that your voice is heard, and we'll be shoring up some folks later on to be talking about that a little bit later. And we want you guys to be a part of that. So go ahead and do what you got to do to be a part of it. How about that? Y'all, let's talk briefly about this foolishness right here. I need you all to hear this foolishness. We talked about this yesterday, but if you did not see yesterday's show, I need you to listen closely to this foolishness coming from Florida.
I want to provide some context to this flashy and horrifying headline. Spoiler alert, it is as bad as it sounds. The primary intent of this bill is to restrict reproductive and sexual health education, restricted by age and grade level. This bill proposes that sexual and reproductive health education can only be taught to children who are in grade 6 to grade 12. There are many other things proposed in the bill that are equally horrifying as restricting young people's reproductive and sexual health education. As a result of this proposed bill, it would mean 10, 11, and 12-year-olds would not be taught about or would be able to speak about their periods. The average age for menstruation is 10 to 15. That leaves a 3-year gap in education. It means that a young person, a child who gets their period, cannot confide in or seek advice or help from the adults in the institution that they're sent to on a daily basis to be educated. Comprehensive reproductive health and sexual education are part of bodily autonomy and freedom. When somebody or a government is restricting what you get to know about your own body, it's a pretty big cause for concern.
And yes, it is a huge cause for concern. Here's what I would suggest that we start doing when it comes to Florida. Now, I do have a student at FAMU currently, and we're also going to be talking a little bit more about House Bill, what is it? It is the Florida House Bill 999, which impacts the Divine Nine. It also impacts, it's more about this woke thing that's happening over there. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit in one of our morning shows here in the day shift. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that briefly and let you guys know that unfortunately, here's what happens. A lot of times, the menstrual cycle, starting your period. Yes, I'm saying it out loud because it is not a bad thing, y'all. It's just what happens to women's bodies. Listen, if you're a woman, if you have a uterus, 9 times out of 10, you are going to menstruate throughout your lifetime. Okay. And we need to have these conversations with our daughters. So number one, they're not in school and something happens and we're not preparing them for that. Number two, if something does happen, why are we not having these conversations with the students and the children in school? I know we did when I was in the 5th grade, they had that conversation. I was like, well, what is that? No one had ever told me. I wasn't told about it when I was at home, but when I did get home, I talked about it. And then the conversation was had. Okay. Now, some of my classmates started early. Some of them started in 3rd grade. Some of them started in, can you imagine you're 8, you're 10 years old and you're starting your cycle and you can't talk about it. It's already enough that your body is changing and you're growing things in the front of your chest and you don't know what it is. Not only that, but let's stop pretending that these young people don't already know what it is. And they're having these conversations because mamas and daddies are not having them. Okay. So that is where back in the day, they would split us up, right? And the boys would go with the men and they would have a conversation about, puberty and what happens to young boys. And then they would also pull the girls to the side and they would have that conversation with the girls as well. Now, as we got older, one of the things that they would do is they would send a letter home and say, hey, we're going to be having this conversation. Do you want your kid to be a part of that or not? Okay. And I didn't care because I had already had the conversation with mine. I just knew that I wanted my children to have, the opportunity to make a decision for themselves on their bodies. And so we had already had that conversation. They already knew what to do. We already had like little bags and stuff ready, and they were carrying them to school with them. So it wasn't even an issue when things happened. They just already knew what to do. And it wasn't a freak out moment for them where you're getting a call from a nurse or something, or, and they don't know what to do. So think about, you're in a state where it can't be talked about. And so what happens to the child that does? Does that mean that somebody comes and picks them up? Does the parent get involved? Do you cite the parent? Does it become, you get a ticket for talking about something that naturally happens to your body? I got questions. I got questions. And so the senator that is a part of this bill that wants to see this happen, let's look him up, because I really got questions. I need to know. His last name is McCain, but I'm going to go ahead and look him up because I want to give you McLean. His name is McLean, last name McLean, in Florida. Let's see. Representative McLean from Florida. His name is, hang on. Well, this would be the reason why he is the way that he is. He's, let's see, Stan McLean. And he is, this bill is absolutely insane, y'all. Like, I got questions. I really do. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. There we go. Found it. The Don't Say Period bill. Yeah. Anatomy of a Sex Ed bill moving through Florida legislature has begun. A proposal is actually moving forward in the Florida House and Senate that opponents fear would prohibit elementary school students from talking to teachers about their menstrual cycles. Supporters argue House Bill 1069 and State Bill 1320 builds upon the parental rights and education measures the Florida legislature has approved for the past two sessions. Representative Stan McLean concedes he is amenable to amending his proposal to allow a student to discuss menarche, a child's first menstrual cycle. Senate President Kathleen Passidomo, through a spokesperson, said the House prohibition on such discussions is not in the Senate version, which cleared its first committee stop Monday and has one more committee hearing before going to the full Senate. So again, the controversy is, let me just read it for you so you can hear for yourself. So McLean stunned Democrats on the House Education Quality Subcommittee Wednesday when Representative Ashley Gant from Miami, a former school teacher, asked if his proposal would prohibit a 10-year-old fifth grader from talking to her teacher when they experienced their first cycle. McLean said it would. McLean, a contractor in his private life, would later explain his intent is not to punish students who posed questions under such circumstances, and that he would be amenable to amendments. When Gant asked for clarification, McLean said he was amenable to having a conversation about it in context with what we're trying to achieve in the bill. Florida Planned Parenthood Action reacted to the exchange with a tweet of "what?" followed by a question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, and exclamation mark. Now, that actually led to Forbes magazine to dub the HB 1069 the Don't Say Period exclamation mark bill. First menstruation can occur between the ages of 10 to 16, according to the National Library of Medicine, and can occur as young as 8, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Okay, so Gantz said the House bill would prevent teachers in schools from doing their job. And they can't even talk to their students about those very real and biological things that happen to their bodies. So we want to man their uteruses from the time they come out of a uterus is what I'm hearing. Okay. And I need that to make sense, because there are people that are making decisions for women's bodies that don't have uteruses, that don't have boobies, that don't have the things that help us to reproduce. I need this to make sense. And to a degree, I absolutely understand where some people are coming from when they say some things are just too much for young ears to hear. But I need you all to hear me. They seeing it anyway. If you don't tell them at home, who's going to tell them? And then they're going to get the shock of their life when their body starts changing, when things start to bud on their chest, when nobody is telling them what's going to happen, when your hormones are changing and your body scent changes and all of these things, and you don't know what to do. as a child. We are crippling our children by telling them that it's not okay to go through puberty. That is disgusting to me. That is absolutely, you can't discuss these important parts of your life with the people that you spend the most of your day with, and those are your teachers. Come on, Florida, y'all got to do better. So what can you do, folks? This is, of course, a Republican who is suggesting that this be a bill. I am going to say it's time to put the squeeze on Florida. I'm sorry, y'all. I know we like to go in sun and fun and beach and all of that stuff, right? And we know that there are certain things that are happening all the time in Florida that equate to peace and relaxation. How are you gonna have peace and relaxation in a state, first of all, where there's a place where students can't be themselves, where you can't learn anything unless, of course, you're of a specific color, where you're not able to, hypothetically, if this passes, right? You're not able to talk about your menstrual cycle. This is what happens to women's bodies, folks. This is how you get here. This is how you're born. This is what happens if you don't get pregnant. These are the things that we should be talking about. Why are we not doing everything that we can, especially in Florida? I'm asking y'all to stand up now. It's time for y'all to vote. Get these folks up out of here. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I literally cannot believe that we're having this conversation in 2023. A 61-year-old man can tell a young girl what she can and cannot say about her own body and what it's naturally doing. We already have a stigma about the woman's body. We are ashamed of it when it bleeds like it's supposed to do every month. We are ashamed of it after it gives birth and it changes because we carried a human being for 9 months, and then it takes some of us a lifetime to get our bodies back. We shame women and we talk about menopause as if it's a disease. It is disgusting to me as a woman. We don't want to talk about women who are ill and who are sick with PCOS because it would be funnier and more humorous to talk about the fact that she's growing hair on her face and things are different for her as opposed to a regular woman, quote unquote. It's disgusting to me. You know what? Let me just stop. All right. So let's get back into it. Y'all don't want none of this today. Y'all really don't. Because I need this to make sense to me. I really, really do. All right, folks, let's finish talking about what's coming this week. So listen. Cullen's Corner is this Thursday. That's actually tomorrow. We're going to be wrapping up. This is the brother's perspective, y'all. Part 2, why are so many professional Black women still single? And I definitely want to hear from the brothers. If you want to be a part of the live studio audience, you want to come in and give your perspective, it is tomorrow beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can go to bit.ly/Cullen's Corner Part 2, or screenshot this, or take your cell phone if you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, and go ahead and scan that QR code so that you can have the link to join us. It is a StreamYard link. It's going to take you directly to the studio so that you can be a part of the studio audience. There you go. That is tomorrow. All right, guys, don't forget, this is the final few days for me to be on the cover of Brownstone Living. It's probably not going to be the last time that I'm on the cover. However, this is the last few days of me being a part of the March edition for the ladies' first issue of Brownstone Living magazine. What do you need to do if you want a copy of Brownstone Living magazine? All you got to do is head over to brownstoneworldwide.com and you can get your copy there. There is actually a sample at brownstoneworldwide.com/Brownstone Living magazine. Okay, you can go over to brownstoneworldwide.com and you can see the preview there under the home section, and you'll be able to see it there. You can also subscribe to Brownstone Living magazine. It's only $5.99 a month to do so, and we would be happy to have you be a part of Brownstone Worldwide and Brownstone Living as a part of the people in the neighborhood. We'll be talking about that a little bit later tomorrow as well, if you want to be a part of that. Okay. Now, up next, we have the Power of Prosperity Legacy Summit, which is coming to you guys April 13th through the 15th as a part of our financial series where our host is none other than the Nicole Johnson of Girl Your Money Matters, the podcast that airs right here on Brownstone Worldwide. Okay. If you guys want to be a part of that summit, go ahead and grab that particular QR code. But I'm going to do you one better, and I'm going to put the bit.ly link right there. It is bit.ly/Legacy Summit GYMM, which stands for Girl Your Money Matters. Go ahead and grab that QR code, screenshot it, do whatever you need to do, and get into it, because guys, it's a thing. Okay. We're going to be talking about designing a way to help you save more money, earn more money, and prepare a financial future of building your legacy. Super, super, super important for us, especially when we're talking about a lot of us are living longer and we are leaving our jobs more. We're not going back to corporate America. We've made up our mind. It's just not happening. And we're going to make this money out here by ourselves. We need to figure out exactly what we need to do with the resources that we have available to us to continue to have money available on an ongoing basis. And that is what this particular summit is about. We've got some amazing speakers that are going to be coming and talking to you guys. And it's just going to be a really, really cool time. So I encourage you all to be a part of this virtual summit. Okay. And one other thing that I definitely want to talk to you guys about right now, KCCR Radio is on. It is on. What do you need to do if you want to take a listen to KCCR? All you have to do is download the KCCR Radio app. It is a podcast streaming app. And right now, Anisha and Quan Smith, Brownstone's Best Business Review, it's a replay, is actually airing. After that, of course, we're going to do the Hot Lunch Mix. It's an hour mix of some of your favorite DJs and some of ours that we've been working with for years. And then we're going right back into more talk radio for you guys. Okay. Some great podcasts from some of the interviews that we've done and all of the things. If you do not want to, or you don't have space on your phone to listen to KCCR Radio, we do have a way for you to actually access it. And that would be at KCCR The Brownstone.com. That again is KCCRthebrownstone.com. See, that was easy, wasn't it? Didn't even hurt, right? All right, y'all. I need to talk about a little entertainment. Now, I don't know whether or not this is entertainment for the ages or not, but this one kind of made me a little sad because I'm from the entertainment industry. And it blows my mind that we're even having this conversation with these cats being as old as they are. But I'm sure that you guys have heard. And if you haven't, let's go ahead and talk about it. The Isley brothers are going to court. Rudolph Isley is seeking a rightful 50% share of all proceeds earned by the Isley brothers trademark, which Ronald filed under his name in November of 2021. Rudolph Isley, one of the members of the Isley brothers, is suing his brother Ronald for filing a trademark registration for the Isley brothers solely under his name. In legal documents obtained by EW or Entertainment Weekly, Rudolph's legal team is seeking a judicial declaration that states the Isley brothers trademark is jointly owned by both he and Ronald equally, and asks the judge to require Ronald to pay him his share of all proceeds earned from it. Now, alongside their brother, O'Kelly Isley, Rudolph and Ronald formed the Isley brothers in, y'all ready for this, 1954. Now, throughout the years, Rudolph claimed that the band operated as an equal partnership under the sole ownership, direction, and control of its founding members, with the three brothers splitting all expenses, profits, and control of the business, even as their lineup grew. Following the death of O'Kelly in 1986, the singers' interests were passed on to Rudolph and Ronald, leaving them both with 50% shares each of ownership in the group and the mark, according to the complaint. However, Rudolph alleges that Ronald filed an application to register exclusive rights in the mark in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office in his own personal name in November of 2021 without Rudolph's knowledge or approval. The suit claims that Ronald has offered goods and services in commerce to the public over the last year without his knowledge and has failed to account to or make payment to him in connection with such exploitation of the mark. Now, I am going to say this: at their age, they are legendary. They are legends. They continue to work in the music and entertainment industry. And I would say that at this point, I would hope that they would get it right before one of them leaves this planet. I hate to hear stuff like that. I really, really do. So prayers for them. They're all they got outside of their families, their brothers. And unfortunately, money will make you do some strange things. I'm trying to tell you. And I hate to hear that. Now, let's talk about the month of Ramadan, shall we? Because guess what, folks? We're going to be talking about it on Brownstone Worldwide. You can go ahead and check it out on brownstoneworldwide.com. If I'm not mistaken, that article has already posted. However, here's what you need to know. This is what you need to know in celebrating the month of Ramadan, especially in the U.S., okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com, and I'm going to find the article. It's actually there already. And while you're over there at brownstoneworldwide.com, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go ahead and register for the weekly reader so that we can communicate with you guys when things come through the, let's see, here we go. We are celebrating the month of Ramadan. Yep, I knew it was here. All right, Ramadan is actually an important month-long observance in the Islamic faith. And it actually starts today, and it's month-long, so it'll end on April 21st, I think, something like that. And it's observed by millions of people actually around the world. While it has traditionally been associated with Middle Eastern and Southern Asian communities in recent years, here in the States, it's also gained popularity in the Black community. Okay. Now, as far back as I can remember, it's always been a part of my community. Even though I grew up in the Christian faith, I was introduced to the Islamic faith at a very young age. And so I knew about both. Okay. Also, my mother practiced Catholicism. So the history of Ramadan in the Black community can be traced back to the 20th century in the U.S. when African Americans began to convert to Islam in significant numbers. And we know that through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam here in the United States, introducing people to a different way of thinking, a different way of being and existing as Black folks in this country. And so many of these converts were drawn to the faith as a way to assert their identity and break free from the legacy of slavery and racism that had defined their lives. So in the process, they adopted Ramadan as a way to connect with their Muslim heritage and affirm their commitment to the faith. Today, Ramadan is celebrated in Black communities around the world, from the United States to Africa and the Caribbean. It is recognized as a time for spiritual reflection, self-discipline, and community building. So during Ramadan, Muslims abstain from food, drink, and other physical pleasures from sunrise to sunset, focusing instead on prayer, clarity, charity, and good deeds. The month culminates in Eid al-Fitr, a joyous celebration. Y'all, if I said that wrong, please forgive me. A joyous celebration that marks the end of the fasting period. Okay. For those who wish to participate in Ramadan, there are a number of ways to get involved. Many mosques and Islamic centers offer special programs and events during the month, including nightly prayers, lectures, and communal meals, iftars, that break the fast at sunset. Some organizations also organize community service projects during the time and charitable initiatives to coincide with Ramadan, such as food drives and volunteer efforts. In addition, there are a number of practices that individuals can adopt to celebrate Ramadan this month in their daily lives. These include reciting special prayers and verses from the Quran, giving to charity, and performing acts of kindness and generosity towards others. Fasting is also a central part of Ramadan. And while it can be challenging, I've seen people do it though, it is seen as a way to cultivate spiritual discipline and deepen one's connection to God. Overall, Ramadan is a significant and meaningful observance in the Black community and beyond. Whether you are Muslim or not, there are many ways to participate and celebrate this important holiday, from attending communal events to practicing spiritual reflection and self-discipline in your daily life. So to all of my brothers and sisters who are going to be practicing the month of Ramadan, I say to you, have at it. Okay. I can't say that I'm going to be a part of it. I may or may not. But since today is the first day, I haven't eaten yet. Who knows? I may do the sun up to sundown thing and break my fast. Okay. Now let's talk about Cullen's Corner question of the day. But first, let's talk about some more interesting information before we wrap it up. This one, this dude, I don't know. You already know who I'm talking about. Are you ready? We are talking about none other than Donald Trump. Okay. So when we do prep in the morning, it's, we take like a list of things that we're going to be discussing. And this actually is one of them. And what he's going to be dealing with in terms of what could happen if he's arrested. So let's talk about that. New York Times reporter and CNN political contributor Maggie Haberman and CNN's Caitlin Collins discuss what we could see if former President Donald Trump is indicted. All right, so let's get into it. I think that what we need to do is really kind of dig in a little bit deeper and see what happened. So first of all, remember he paid off someone he was dealing with, Stormy Daniels, a significant sum of money. And it was her hush money, but she didn't hush. She kept going. So police have actually set up barricades outside of the Manhattan criminal court after Donald Trump called for his supporters to protest ahead of an expected indictment over the hush payments to Stormy Daniels made just before the 2016 election. Trump claimed the indictment would come down Tuesday, which it didn't. We all know that because we're still here and we haven't heard about it. But his explicit call for unrest has left New York bracing for a potential mass protest. Okay. So one of the things that, we can definitely say is Trump has his power and he's going to be using it as much as he possibly can. So I find that to be kind of disconcerting, but most definitely I'm going to go on ahead and let's see what happens here. Let's see. Hang on, folks, because I'm trying to pull it up. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to find some more news. Here we go. The latest news on Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump. Let's go. The grand jury in Trump hush money case will not meet today, delaying a possible indictment. That actually happened about 15 minutes ago. A lot of people are saying Trump in handcuffs is a sight I've longed to see. The trouble is that's what he wants. That's what he wants too. Trump keeps accusing Black prosecutors of being racist. Coincidence or not? Trump seizes on likely indictment to pass begging bowl for 2024 campaign. DeSantis hits Republican poll low as Trump tightens grip on the primary. And so what we can definitely see is a significant increase in online threats as the potential Trump indictment looms as it happened. Okay, most threats are directed at law enforcement and government officials, reports say, after ex-president urged supporters to protest. He has So, this is really interesting. This guy is amazing. Some of the stuff that he's done and what he continues to get away with. So, big shout out to our folks that are sharing this with me as it is happening. So the grand jury did not meet today for whatever reason. And I understand that there was some kind of threat or something. And so they didn't meet yesterday as well. So I'm sure they're going to have to find another way to close everybody off and have this done so that they can do whatever they need to do. So my question is people been giving hush money for years? I didn't say I was a supporter of this man. That's not what I said. So are we going to indict everybody? In other words, y'all going to have to come with something better than that. You are. You're going to have to come with something better than that. Period. Point blank. You're going to have to. Enough of that. Let's talk about Cullen's Corner question of the day. And here's what you need to know. These questions of the day actually become a part of his live show, his live podcast, where he actually has a studio audience that comes and talks with him. Sometimes it's me and the other air personalities. Sometimes you guys come and hang out or whatever. But what I want you guys to know is this week's, I think he just shared it too. Hang on just a second. Go over to brownstoneworldwide.com. That's what I need you to do. Yes, I'm on my phone. One of them. and brownstoneworldwide.com. Y'all, let's go ahead and type it in there together. And let's get to talking about what is going on in the brownstone today. Okay, if you've already registered for the newsletter, you don't have to register twice. You can go ahead and close that out. Okay, monogamy. Oh, yeah, that was that article that came out yesterday. But why don't we hear about all of the Black and brown missing individuals in this country? And the other question that he asked today, or yesterday actually, is what happened to chivalry? Is chivalry dead? Did modern women kill it? So, does a man owe a certain service to you because you're a woman? I'm not even going to read the whole article. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share it once again on Brownstone Worldwide, the Facebook group. But if you head over to brownstoneworldwide.com, it's actually in the carousel at the top of the screen. And if I were you, I would go and you can actually communicate and you can leave your comments at the bottom too. Okay. And yes, we do monitor those. So if you leave foolish comments or if you leave stuff that you think is funny or you're trying to sell your stuff, guess what we're going to do? We have to approve it anyway, folks. We got a whole group of folks that do that. Okay. Our little VA is back there in the back and she's making it do what it do. So if you want to do that, that's fine. We won't approve it. But if you want to leave a comment on this, why is it that we're not dating anymore? Why is it that, men aren't opening doors for women anymore? Is it because women have shut this down? Or is there a new standard of what chivalry is? And is it just for men? See, that's another question as well. So Cullen posed the question. Go over to brownstoneworldwide.com and leave your thoughts. All right, folks, that's just about my time. We've had a great time today talking with you guys about what's happening in the news. Hopefully you'll be able to join us again tomorrow for more of that. I've got a ton of work to do, some meetings to attend in order to continue to keep bringing you news and information that you can use. Brownstone Living Magazine and amazing content over at KCCR Radio, the Brownstone. Right now, the Backyard Barbecue is on. All you have to do to listen in is to go to and download the app, KCCR Radio. You can listen in there. And also, don't forget, if you want to be a part of KCCR Radio as an air personality, you most certainly can go ahead and scan that particular QR code. And I'm going to go ahead and put this up here. If you want to be a part of that, you can go to bit.ly/KCCR The Waitlist. Make sure that you're a part of that. And lastly, one other thing that we want to make sure that you're able to do as a part of KCCR is take advantage of this advertising for Brownstone Living Magazine. All you have to do to get your business listed in Brownstone Magazine is share this information with yourself. You can either screenshot it or whatever. bit.ly/206 months. If you would like to have a space in Brownstone Living Magazine for just $200 for 6 months, y'all, that's less than $40 a month for you to have your business listing. It comes with your company logo, your website address. It also comes with your email address, and it also comes with your contact phone number. You're going to be a part of the business listing for 6 months. This also comes with a subscription to Brownstone Living Magazine. So if you want to be a part of that, all you got to do, once again, is go to bit.ly/206 months. That's all you got to do. All you got to do. See how easy that was? And yes, that's me with my short haircut. Love it, love it, love it. Had a great time. So shout out to Rakaya. Here she is. This is our beautiful sister. She's our photographer, shot by Rakaya. Big shout out to her and all that she's doing. I know she's super busy right now. And she's also one of the sponsors of Brownstone Worldwide and Brownstone Living Magazine. So big shout out to her. Check her out at shotbyrakaya.com. All right, folks, that's my time. I have enjoyed hanging out with you guys on all of the platforms. This is getting surreal. So if you want to check us out, you can check us out on Are You Ready? And there's more to come. TikTok, you can check us out on Twitch. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on Facebook, 3 different places there. And listen, y'all, we also have Brownstone Marketplace and we have the Corner Store. And that is where your daily deals are housed in Brownstone Worldwide. So go ahead and check that out when you have an opportunity. because we put in daily deals all day long. You can go there now and you can check out deals. We'll be popping in there a little bit later and giving you more deals that you can take advantage of and get some shopping done, because here comes spring, here comes Easter, here comes all of the things. You don't want to miss it. All right, you guys, I will see you again for another edition of The Day Shift tomorrow morning. In that, if you are just joining, thank you so much for joining us. But I'm about 3 minutes away from the top of the hour. Here's where I will leave you. 3 things that I always like to leave you with before we end every show. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest, because you only get one you. You might as well enjoy every single chance that you get. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. You guys, it's been real. I will see you on another edition of The Day Shift. But in the meantime, I will see you on Facebook, Brownstone Worldwide, Brownstone Corner Store. I will also see you on YouTube, TikTok, all of the places where you can find Brownstone Worldwide. That's where you will be too. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day.